All right, welcome to class. So many of you have been requesting shorter videos and more chill videos, and I feel like with this long winter and the spring that never wants to arrive, we need a little bit more cocooning. We need a little bit more softness. It's a slow reboot, a slow start to spring. So I wanted to offer a really simple stretch practice for you to do at any point during the day. You can start your day with this, you can end your day with this, you can sneak it into the middle of the day as well. So we're going to use blocks, and we're going to begin in supported fish. You can set up your blocks like so. If you have a blanket, grab one, it will be worth it. And you can just pad up your blocks. We're going to use the blocks and the blanket in another position as well. So go get all that ready, and then we'll lay down onto these blocks. One underneath the head, one underneath your upper back, and then take your arms out wide to the sides. Bring the soles of your feet together and your knees apart. I like to wiggle my shoulder blades a little bit closer together. Everything gets snug on the back body. And then close down your eyes and let yourself just land and arrive in your body, in this space, in this moment. Starting to tune in to some of the more subtle layers of your experience, like your breath, currents of energy moving through you, noticing your state of mind, noticing any tender regions in the heart, giving ourselves this precious time and space just to feel, to be with what is, to welcome all of ourselves. Now you're welcome to stay here in the center, or you can take your left knee and close it on top of your right knee. Almost like the legs were a book, and we just close the book over to the right. Now as the knees pull forward and down, you can stretch your left arm a little bit further back. Take some breath into the left side of your chest. Maybe kind of snow angeling your left arm around. Then let's come back through the center. Just take a moment to ground, to pause in the center. And then we'll switch sides. So the knees will fold over towards the left. Right arm stretches out, right shoulder blade hugs underneath the body. Feel free to move around a little bit, up and down. And then we return to the center. Pause in the center, take a moment, take a breath. And then nice and easy, you can bring your knees together up through the center. Circle your arms back behind you. Take an inhale through your nose. Gentle exhale through your mouth. And then stretch your arms up to the sky and bring your hands down by your sides, palms down. We'll lift the hips up, sneak the hands underneath your hips, and then sit down onto your hands, your wrists. Take your legs, stretch them forward, and then push into your heels, your hands, your elbows, and slowly rise up through the center. From here, we'll scooch our hips back closer towards the block. We'll take the knees over towards the left. And then we're gonna fold over our blocks and our blanket. If you have a bolster, you can just bring a bolster over. Otherwise, we're gonna turn this block down onto its lowest setting and so that it sits vertical. And then we're gonna fold our chest down. So we have left hip close to the block, fold forward and down. And then you can look over towards the right. You can turn your head over to the left. That's like a little bit more of a twist. And so we're trying to open through the outer left hip as well as through sort of the right hip flexors here. I'll let you kind of position yourselves and then just sink into it. I'm worried that if I sink into it too much, you're not going to hear me anymore. There's so many of these yin poses. It's hard for me to fully ground with the mic. I don't want to block my voice or let it get all scratchy. But I want you to sink your chest as close down in towards this little block, blanket, pillow support. We'll hold here for 5 more breaths. If you want to try turning your head to the other side, you could try that. And then slowly, slowly, slowly return your head back to the center. And let's rise all the way up. And we'll switch sides. So go slow as you transition. Knees up and over to the right. Now we have our right hip close to the block. And we're going to fold our chest forward and down onto this little block situation. There are actually bolsters at the studio, but I get so used to teaching without them. And so you can always improvise with whatever you've got at home. Once you've found a place where you can kind of support your body, you can let all of your muscles just kind of sink and soften down. And again, every time we come into a different shape, it's like we're kind of sitting with a different part of ourselves. Feeling into different layers, different regions. Using our breath to keep our attention and our awareness anchored in this moment, this experience. And let your body really just melt down into this shape. Body is still releasing the heaviness of winter. Body is still transitioning, switching seasons. Although sometimes the mind wants things to switch in an instant, the body is slower like the earth. It takes more time. The leaves have not even started to produce a single bud. There's still snow on the ground in many places. Things are melting, but it's slow and it requires patience. Take 5 more breaths here. Maybe turning your head the other way. Let your head come back towards the center. Whew. And then we're going to rise all the way up. Turn your chest forward. Let's connect the soles of the feet together. I'm going to lean my butt up against this block a little bit to help with a forward fold. And so you can play with the distance between your heels and your pubic bone. Find some length in your spine. Take a breath in. And then let's start to fold forward, walking the hands forward, bowing the chest down, letting the head just kind of hang down. Everyone at the studio here has been talking about the weather and how it's still so cold. And some people kind of joke that we talk about the weather so much, or that it's like a boring topic of conversation or whatever. But we are a part of nature, and the weather affects us so, so much. Just as I believe the planets and the stars affect us so, so much. And so most of us are feeling sleepy, tired, ready for spring, but it's not yet here. We're stuck in this in-between. We're kind of holding in a transition. And it can be kind of a uncomfortable place, or like unfamiliar, like we know where we want to go and we just want to get there now. So as we take this time here on our mat to slow down, we can also remind ourselves that everything takes time. Even here, the body needs time to open. We can practice patience, just honoring our body, honoring nature, trusting its timeline. And of course, we can always make changes, we can always adjust, we can always realign. There are certain things that are in our control, and then there are other things that are completely out of our control. And that's where radical acceptance becomes our key. Take one more breath here. Maybe like a little sigh. Nice. And then when you're ready, you can roll yourself back up. Use your hands, guide your knees in. And then we'll make our way to a supported bridge. I'm going to use this blanket as a pillow. And I'm going to set up the blocks in supported bridge like this, so that we have got like a really wide, long area to rest the back on. So you lay down first and then put the blocks. Sometimes I see people like putting the blocks and then laying down. I'm like, oh, it looks so uncomfortable. So lay down, then lift your hips, then place the blocks. Oh, that's nice. Make sure you have almost even and equal amount of block on either side of your hips. And then rest your arms wherever you'd like, wherever they're comfy. And then let's float our feet up. Rock the knees from side to side. You can even massage out your back into the blocks. Sometimes I kind of like to push my sort of upper glute muscles and piriformis into like the edge of the block. That can be kind of a nice release. And then we'll keep the right knee into the chest. You can reach up and catch your right leg. Take your left leg forward and down. And then try stretching your right knee out to the right a little bit, still holding on with both of your hands. And then try moving your left leg out to the left a little bit. So it's almost as though the right knee and the left foot are moving in opposite directions, kind of creating a diagonal line. See if you can access the sort of inner left thigh, almost like the groin or kind of these inner hip flexor muscles. Give yourself another breath. And then slowly come back through the center with your right thigh and your left foot. We'll switch sides, so left knee in. You can switch up your interlace if you like that. And then we'll ground through the right thigh, move the left thigh out to the side a bit, and move the right leg out to the side a bit as well. Oof. Knee and heel moving away from one another. Really using the leverage of the blocks, like that little bit of elevation, as well as the weight of the legs, the weight of the right thigh, knee, heel, grounding down. So very little effort required here. And then you can keep your right leg where it is, bring your left knee in. And then if it feels comfortable for your back, you can take both of your legs out and maybe even stretch both of your arms out. And so sometimes there's like a little repositioning that needs to be done. And if this doesn't feel comfortable at all, then just bend your knees and bring your feet down. Take an inhale through your nose, filling up. Hold at the top and take in an extra sip of air. And then open your mouth and release. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, filling up. Pause, take that extra sip. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale, fill up. Pause. Could you inhale, fill up a bit more? And then let it go. And then nice and slow, start to rebend into the knees if you had your legs extended. Push into your feet, lift your hips up and slide your blocks forward towards your heels. You can angle them out a little bit and then just leave them there for now. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze, a little rock from side to side. If there are any other little movements that you're craving, go ahead and make them now. When you're ready, we'll set up for Shavasana with blocks under our thighs. So you can take your legs forward, slide your blocks so that they're a bit closer towards the knee crease. And then let your arms rest. If you have an eye pillow, you can put that over your eyes, give yourself some darkness. And we let ourselves rest. We let ourselves ground and integrate. Feeling our system sort of recalibrating. Sometimes when we're sort of forcing or rushing ourselves into the energy of spring that is non-existent, like the mind is trying to rush there, and the body just gets even more fatigued and tired. So much of this yoga practice and moving the body and flowing, it's really just bringing us back to our natural state of being. Recalibrating ourselves back to these natural rhythms of the earth. When we fight against them, we create tension, resistance, anxiety, stress, burnout, fatigue. When we fully surrender to them, everything gets a little bit lighter and easier. It's like we're realigning with these natural rhythms. We're living in harmony with them. And so give yourself more time to rest, trusting that we needed this long winter, knowing that eventually spring will come, and when it does, it will give us that boost of energy. Right now, we still need a little bit more time to sort of ground, soften, maybe think about what intentions, what seeds we want to plant for spring. And so I'm going to leave you here in this little cocoon. Feel free to come back to this practice as much as you'd like, adding on to it, making it your own, making it a daily practice. Thank you so much for being here. As always, it's so nice to continue to share in this way. Have a beautiful April. Namaste.